Hi, you guys. I specs this morning, which kind of was the jumping off point for me in a way. I haven't got my prescription ones yet. These are readers, and my eyes are. I'm pretty good. I'm not blind without glasses by any means. One eye is nearsighted, one eye is farsighted, which can be useful. The brain can use information from both. But it means when I'm wearing readers, it helps one eye and hurts, makes the other more blurry. So pardon me if if I take them on and off, it's just my attempt to sort of, and that got me thinking about through the lens of, and, okay, can't look distance. If I had a quote here that seems very pertinent with that. What lens are you looking through the world with that affects how you, because it's at least as much the lens as it is what's out there in the world. If you have a really distorted lens or a dirty lens or a lens that, I don't know, whatever it is. And I thought, often the lens we all look to the world with is ego, in the sense that how does the world perceive me? How do I live in this world? How do I get what I need to keep living in this world? Blah, 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 blah. Not in any way illegitimate. We can't live without that kind of assessment. But while it's not a rejection of the ego that's necessary. Oh, Rue's eating my breakfast toast, and she likes the crust. It's not like banishing ego. Couldn't do that. Couldn't put on our shoes in the morning. It's adding, or rather, it's changing the balance of the lens. Right eye, left eye, I was talking about before. It's adding something to that pre-existing ego way of looking at the world. It's accessing a part of yourself that's there all the time. It's innate. But you opt for that lens. You opt to lean toward a perception of the world based on something more than ego. Ego's not it's sort of become synonymous with, people who operate just in a terrible, shitty, exploitive way. That's not really, that's one way of acting out your ego in the world. It's not the only way. And there's no either or. We need both. We need both eyes. This is the quote. It's Aldous Huxley. No mind exists on a knife's edge between carelessness and strained over-eagerness. Learn to combine the most indomitable determination with perfect submission to the spirit. And this was my daughter's drawing that I paired the quote with because they're on the knife's edge. And these guys are watching. And I loved it because each person is an individual. They have different hair, different faces, different eyes, different stances. The individual, the ego in a sense. And I got thinking about how they talk about no mind in this. And I was trying to figure out what's my definition of no mind. And it is sort of the meditative mind that sees what is, that doesn't bend reality in service of ego, that has both the ego and the superego, if you will. Freud is, as he was in many ways, did delineate a kind of strata. And of course it's porous. But it changes your you can shift your perception. I mean, of course we can, and it's always fluid. Oops, there's an outlier. Let's see what it is. It is King of Swords. But the way I see it is in reverse. Yeah, the way it popped up to me is King of Swords in reverse. It's somebody who lacks self-knowledge, or who's turned their back on maybe even ego. Knife's edge, something about the sword, the blade of the sword. Let's get a little more. Tell us about this King of Swords in reverse. That was on the vice versa deck, which is next to me. I didn't think I was going to use it, but there I did. Okay, okay. We have King of Cups. Could be two different people. This would be somebody who's operates, sorry about the glare, operates off their heart center, their feelings. But there's a way in which this guy can't meet our eyes. He's looking at the cup. He's looking at the fish. It's kind of like he's looking at the concept of love, the possibility of it, but he's not looking at the viewer. There's something about that. Not looking at the viewer. Ten of Wands. And there's something about this not looking at the viewer. And we'll have to clarify that because I don't get it. But it's involves the laying down of a burden. Focusing on one's own heart. I think that's it. Not on the person who has turned their back on us. On the board, King of Cups is looking at King of Swords, who's got their back turned. So he's not looking at the viewer, he's looking at the one who's, in other words, not really looking at the one who's present, they are looking at him. His eyes are fixed on this departing individual. And I'm getting that there's some expression about, well, it's sort of like eat my dust. There's something about, you'll see the back of me. I can't remember it well enough. And on the bottom of the deck, okay, I'm supposed to split it. Okay, we have 5 of Cups, 3 of Cups. Again, in Cups energy of the King of Cups. This is a card of loss and sadness, regret over a lost connection. That comes under King of Swords. So I think this person who's represented by the King of Cups experienced a loss. Something they were ready for, the other guy wasn't. The other guy wasn't. Hangman. Hanged one in this deck. This is also could be a card of not being ready. I don't know, did I just say something about not being ready? I think it might be because this is a card of Pisces, a card of water energy, cups energy, getting a new perspective, getting ready in that sense to move out of this still point, which had something to do with feelings of loss. And then I'm supposed to not look. It's always hard because, like, I want to look. Death card, Scorpio energy of transformation. And I never see it at first, but there's a face here and a face over on the other side, exhaling this. Exhaling or inhaling. One's breath is going into the butterfly, the transformation. The other guy's breath is going into whatever this is. It looks like it looks like an emptiness somehow, like a dead fish. You know how their eyes get all kind of glassy? So a major transformation, I think, accomplished in this, we get this a lot, in this time of non-movement where you're processing feelings of sadness. Because someone turned their back on you, someone you loved. And the roles could be reversed. You know, kings don't mean two men. Could be a same-sex couple. Whatever it is, the you in this arrangement identifies as King of Cups. Pretty sure. You may be cross-watching. I mean, I just don't know. And the energies are a little flippy-floppy. But you're processing your feelings. It's ending a cycle, 10 of Wands, that was burdensome. You know, and it's being transformed on an archetypal level. You know, this was a kind of, I'm hearing not a death, but like almost like a playing possum or Sleeping Beauty who her evil stepmother puts a spell on her and she falls asleep, and there's something about that. But it's a productive, now I'm getting, you know, induced coma when you're really, your brain has received a tremendous injury. They'll put you in a coma in order to protect you. There's something almost like that, like the universe has hung you up. So that you can process your feelings, because they're hard. You're grieving, and the water is up to here. And she's weeping. You know, it's pretty clear on the face of it. Okay. Judgment. Card of Libra, air sign. This is a card of equilibrium and fairness and balance. So this air sign is not to be, I don't think, maligned. Their departure. Oh, I'm getting, okay. This is somebody who was not being clear and wasn't talking and was not communicative. Not a villain, just somebody in silence. And I think what they're in silence about, in Libra energy, I mean, this is a great card. It's equilibrium, it's figuring something out, it's a judgment. It has to do with truth and balance. You know, it's interesting though, it's the balance of the two things, but you only see half of this person. Justice is blind. Maybe it relates back into that. Yeah, I really can't see. Maybe it relates back to that business of clarity. King of Swords clarified by Libra, by justice. It could also be something to do with a court case. You know, that's, I mean, this is really specific, and maybe this is only for a small number of people, but this could be a court case. Like he couldn't talk about it because it was being litigated, something was being litigated. And this person felt abandoned, basically. I feel so much for you. You're not talking to me. But they're in a balanced, clear energy. So whatever they're not talking about isn't, they're not trying to, you know, pull the wool over anybody's eyes or anything like that. But for some reason, they can't talk about it. They've made a decision, they can't talk about it. Or there's a decision pending. Sword energy, something to do with how they, you know, it's like a decision. The brain is deciding something. This is an objective truth, though. This is major arcana card of what's fair. On 10 of Wands, we have Page of Wands. Sorry. Just maybe the beginning of the day, you know, this is some sort of flip-flop. I don't know. Page of Wands. This is the person starting out the journey because they've wrapped something up that was a burden. You know, other people's issues, the drama of a whole bunch of people, they're like hitting the road. There's an unburdening. So somebody's going on a quest, having unburdened. Yeah, okay. Clarify, please, the Death card. This major transformation that apparently involves something about two directions. Somebody bringing something back to life, or somebody's life being drained. 3 of Cups, which I saw earlier. For some reason, I shuffled it back in and out, it popped again. This is a return. Out it pops again. Sorry, I'm getting messages on my phone. I mean, this is a reunion. A return. Like this person who split, maybe I'm hearing making a U-turn. There's been some major shift. And in Cups energy of King of Cups, 5 of Cups, 3 of Cups. This is coming together right now over me. Hangman is clarified by Queen of Swords. King and Queen were on the board yesterday. It doesn't mean 2 air signs, but it could. And I'm getting that Gemini, the twins, 2 air signs, Gemini being an air sign, 2 air signs, the twins. The masculine energy, an objective truth, telling the truth, being analytical. This is in shadow side. They walked away. Here's the match, Queen of Swords. And that's clarifying Hangman. What she's trying to analyze are feelings. That's what she's processing. I'm turning my attention, all my brain power in the service of feelings. Because I have to. I'm like drowning in my own tears over here. So I think the transformation is hers, maybe both of theirs. She's transforming by processing the loss. And I say she appears on this card. But it's whoever's represented by King of Cups. Could be a water sign, could be masculine or feminine. But there's been a transformation in that Cups energy that allows for this reunion. Something got balanced out. Something that was unfair was reconsidered. There was a clarity involved, and a decision was made. Maybe a court decision. So we do have a match on the board. Okay, but one person's in their air energy, and one person is in their feelings energy. But I think is thinking about it too, assessing what is right for me, and in my deepest strata, what do I feel about it? And it's, well, I like that. It's turn your heartache right into joy. He's a girl, you're a boy, get it together, make it nice. You don't need any more advice. You don't need any more advice. Maybe we'll just take a little bit more. I'd like to know what's going to happen here. And I think this is what's going to happen. This is a card of friendship and reunion. It's not a binary love. It's not, I only have eyes for you. Remember the I reference? Because in a way, that binary love can really bring the ego to the fore. And there needs to be that other strata. That other strata, the major arcana strata. Processing feelings from a clear place. Libra is an air energy, but it's about relationship. When this changes, that changes. How do we get an equilibrium? A dynamic equilibrium. A transformative equilibrium that allows for new life. Both on the emotional level, Scorpio, Pisces, heavily weighted on that, and on the air energy level of the thought, belief, articulation, from a place of truth. And that's what's coming into balance, I think. And that something about the transformation, Because I always think of this as a cocoon, a chrysalis, like hanging in the tree, waiting for the metamorphosis, for the change to be complete. The change. Out with the old air, in with the new air. In with the new air. Like sometimes I don't know if I'm being too teachery. Because I think you guys get it. I really do. If this resonated for you, I think it's a really positive reading. I do. And it's like we're on the path. It's a fresh path. It's a new path. We're breaking trail. We're breaking trail. Subscribe if you haven't already. I'm working toward a kind of a special priorities for people who subscribe. Not that it takes away from anything I do here for free, but it'll be that little bit more for people who are actually on board. Because those, anyways, that the way the whole thing is set up by YouTube, I really need that. I need y'all. We need each other. Amen.